Hello again, it's Tabitha with Appalachian Rising Ventures, and we're going to take you on another building tour today. But we kind of wanted to show you a little bit about the orientation of where we are on Main Street, so that those of you that aren't from our town of Appalachia, Virginia, can kind of keep up with the location of all the buildings. We've realized we have a lot of people from outside of the area kind of following along on our restoration projects here. So we're going to try to do better about explaining things to make sure everybody can follow along. So this is the Western Auto Building, the original Western, well, we called it the original Western Auto Building, but we were informed it's probably actually location 3 of 4 locations that were in town. And our building is here on Main Street. It's the only building we own on this side of Main Street right now, but you can see just behind it, that is the dairy building that we also have already done a tour on. And so that's actually kind of a street back from Main Street, the dairy building is. Then across the road, we're going to start on the corner of Main and Virginia. That's going to be the Peak building. And the Peak building, of course, is the historic building that we know for sure was at least in Ripley's, believe it or not, because I saw it myself in the Niagara Falls location when I was about 12 years old. And that's the building that has the staircase that wraps up the side. To the right of the Peak building is the Appalachian Mercantile building. We did a tour of this building with the owner, Tommy, and that's going to be coming really soon, so y'all can see the inside of his building. That building and the Peak building have both been approved for some planning grants, so we are going to be able to get some architects and engineers in here, hopefully in a couple of months. They're putting out a request for proposals right now for those. So we're excited about that because they both have some major water issues that need to be addressed. To the right of the Mercantile building, that was F&F Tanning and Video when I was in high school. Not a lot of tanning salons left, and definitely not really hardly any video stores these days. But then it was a restaurant for a brief moment. It's currently vacant. To the right of that building is my grandfather's original TV and repair shop. It is the Shell building. And then to the right of that is the Levine building that we've also already done a tour on. And then we have the Fig building, and the next building down is what most recently was the Appalachia Beauty Shop. Now this building we think was built about 1925 to 1930 because it doesn't exist in some photos from around 1920 that we've seen, but we can tell it's old because of the structure and a lot of the, when we get inside, a lot of the features of the building are actually still there, but much like the other buildings, they tried to modernize it and they covered some of that up. So we're having fun uncovering some secrets about this building. And I think John just got back in a minute, so maybe we can get him involved in this tour. He likes to run away when he knows we're filming. So we're gonna walk on down here. So the Appalachia Beauty Salon was operated most recently by my mom's childhood best friend, Susie Richardson, and she operated it till about a year ago when she started having some health issues. And just recently we purchased the building from her. It's actually in pretty good shape compared to a lot of our other buildings. We are working on the upstairs apartment because we have a family that has a little bit of a housing situation, and we're going to have it ready hopefully by the end of the week for them. We're redoing the bathrooms upstairs and the kitchen, and got to do some painting and floor work, but the apartment upstairs is going to be ready to go by the end of the week, so it's actually inhabitable, unlike a lot of our other buildings. But also, the front of this building looks very different than probably how it did. Susie tells me that this is the first salon she worked at when she first got her cosmetology license. And she says there was a big window in the front here, and there was a chandelier that hung in the window that you could just see when at nighttime it was all lit up. And so at some point somebody's come in and closed this up. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it might have been Susie's dad because he did a lot of renovations to the building after she purchased it. And they put in kind of some more residential looking windows and these more residential doors. And we think this awning was also built on and added on. So we're trying to find some historical pictures of the building. We know it didn't exist around 1920, came in after that. So, no, I got a light. So we're going to go on in and take a look. There's a lot of paneling upgrades in here. Susie This was kind of her check-in counter and reception area. And Susie worked in her station is still in here right now. But you can see it got kind of divided up into different salon rooms, like booths is what a lot of people will call them. And so it has this hallway, and of course downstairs we have a restroom for the salon. And this would have been, looks like she was using it last maybe as like a hair drying setting room. A lot of older women like their hair set. But this room, John's already had to do quite a bit of gutting on it because it was kind of a kitchen area, and it had had some water damage from a tub upstairs, and it had actually kind of come behind these counters, and we weren't aware until we came in and started taking out some cabinets. John found there was a lot of mold and stuff behind this wall, so this whole wall did have to be gutted out. And as you can see, we've got a couple different layers of flooring here. So there was like a sticky tile on top of an older linoleum, on top of an older tile, and then I think there's a concrete floor under there. But John says there's at least 4 layers of flooring in here. But if you can see through the wall here, you can tell there's something actually on the other side of this wall. And John had gotten to crawl around this building a lot more before we bought it than I did. So I was kind of tickled when I got to come crawl around. We'll go through the back first. This was another room, booth. And she was using this area, it looks like, as a washroom area. And we'll come back to this door in a minute. Here was her hair washing stations, and she probably had some break room stuff back here, it looks like, because there's an old fridge and stuff. And Susie tells me that this room, well, it's not really a room, but this door opens up to what they always called, she said, the dungeon. Because you can tell it's we're on the back of the cliff-facing side of the building now. And if you come in here, you can see here is kind of like a little, probably was like a utility space. Might have even had the furnace in there at one point, just based upon the fact that I don't see one anywhere else. But there's this metal door back here, and I'm sure this is part of why they referred to it as the dungeon. Do you need to go behind me? And outside of that area, it is a little scary back here. There is, come on through. When you get up here, you can see this is a porch that was on the back side of the building that's been closed in at the top. Here's some original windows that would have been back here though. And they've kind of utilized this space for heat pumps. And here is literally the cliff face, and they've built a wall into that. And we got these nice wood support beams here, and if you look around that corner, you can actually see the daylight poking through from the cliff side. So they called this the dungeon. I think it was a pretty relevant name. It's a little scary back here. Oh, that mic cord made me thought something was attached to me for a moment. So here's where the downstairs building kind of lets us see a little bit more of what's going on. There is this passageway that was going behind the kitchen area. So this is where we were just a second ago, looking through the wall. And if you come to this side, toward the back, again, we're using this for some heat pump stuff and some water heater stuff right now. But if you look straight up, this was the original ceiling that was in this place. So you can see we've got another drop ceiling in here, and you've got this tall metal ceiling still in here. So that is kind of cool. There's of course been a lot of pipes and different things ran over the years, and heat pump parts and all of that. So we're not exactly sure how we will back some of this up, but we're hoping that we can open this space back up. Down the hallway, you'll see this door, and this is going to go down to the basement space. We've got some beautiful old electric boxes here, as you can see. Some of these are older. Hopefully they're all not active. I wouldn't touch any of them just to be on the safe side. We've got old pipes. And this was probably a lot of the original structure of the building when it was put in as far as utilities. This is going to be the staircase that's going to go up to the second floor. Watch your head on these pipes, Justin. But down here, I'm going to say that at one point, got a little bit of water dripping over here too out of something. There's looks like an air conditioning drain. So at one point there might have been, yeah, none of that works. At one point there is a grate on the sidewalk. This might have been the coal chute for the building originally. When we go back outside, we can look at that from the outside. It's still there. And so there might have been a furnace in this section at one point as well. It's hard to tell, and I mean, over 100 years, they could have moved it multiple times. So, because as you can see now, they're putting the heat pumps, but yeah, there's just a piece of PVC pipe coming down right here, and your lovely sump pump here to keep the basement space from flooding. That goes to the outside, it looks like, in the back there in the dungeon area that we were at. But honestly, as far as buildings on this side of the road, it's relatively dry. It's usually a lot worse, so that's good, because water around here is glass wax. Water around here can be very destructive, so got an old thermostat. Yeah, here's another old thermostat on the wall here from years ago that's not connected to anything anymore too. So yeah, they probably moved heat sources multiple times, and now they've got this technically there's a heat pump in here, so it's pretty cool in here. So John's getting to work in some climate controlled air, which in this time of the summer in the mountains is a good thing because it is humid, and it only gets worse. We'll be headed into July and August. So here is the outside grate. It actually still opens. It says majestic break proof. But yeah. So this is the upstairs apartment area, and this door was put in later. We got John coming down. And originally it probably either had an entryway here, because here's probably where the original door was. So this might have just been an entryway area, but now the door is on that side because there's no door here. We've got some peeling border on the steps here we want to take up, but the wood steps are in pretty good shape. So these will be fun to just lightly refinish, hopefully. But when you get up here to this area, so we were told that it used to be 2 apartments, but when John started working on cleaning out some, you going out this door? Okay, sorry, I thought you were going that way. When John started working on gutting this one bathroom, he realized he can tell a little bit more about the floor plans. So this door is probably original to the upstairs. It's a wood door, and looks like it's in pretty good shape. There's been some electrical moved up here at some point. So we've got 2 entryway doors, but it's all been opened back up into one apartment. So give us like 2 seconds. So this is going to be the entryway to the apartment. It did have a wall that just kind of went diagonal here, and it didn't really make any sense. And there was a door there that went to the bathroom area, and this was the laundry room, bathroom, all behind here. And we decided to take the wall out, and we're going to open this up and put washer and dryer over here, leave it open, and then put a bigger bathroom in. But in ripping out this wall, John ripped out, what was that, a second faux ceiling? Because this is probably the original.
So this is the original ceiling, and I tried to patch it. That's why it's all pink, because the wall, this is the original wall right here. It used to come straight along right there. The wall used to come straight along right here. That's the original plaster right there, and they cut it out because this was a hallway that went about another 4 feet behind that wall. And then you can see where they put the plaster up here to try and match it, because it's got bigger peaks on it and stuff. And eventually they got tired of that, so they dropped it down about, looks like about 16 inches, and they built a ceiling, which it was this level right here above me. Sorry, I'm moving too fast for you, Justin. And I've ripped all that out from all the way across. So like you said, they had that diagonal wall across here. So it was just a weird floor space.
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So in tearing out the ceiling, John found this
secret tunnel.
He's calling it the secret tunnel. But there was this passageway to the eaves that had been covered up. And
it's attic space, really.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I wouldn't know I don't know if you'd really call it attic space.
Okay.
Because you can't really store anything up there, can you?
You could. It's about 3 feet, 4 feet. You
Okay.
could. And there's a crawl plank up there, so.
But definitely eaves.
It's for maintenance access, though.
Yeah. So we're not really sure why at some point they decided to just close off that space and not use any of it and put stuff everywhere in here. But we're going to open this space back up since we're already doing the bathroom, in the hopes that later we can come back in and do more work on this apartment later.
Since we have this open ceiling, we're going to put a trampoline right here. So you
No. This is the doorway that we came in from the hallway, but John says when you look over this area that you can see that this used to be a T-shaped hallway. And when we go through the rooms, you'll kind of see the evidence of how each room, in the front especially, was broke up for what looks like private boarding. We're not 100% sure of all of the layout, but John says when you go toward the back here in this other hallway, because a lot of the floor plan now doesn't make sense, but after John was able to see everything from up here, he could tell a little bit more, that this was the original hallway here, and it would have went straight down here, and he says he can see a transom stuck up over this one doorway. So we'll walk down this way and kind of go backwards through the apartment from here. But so this ceiling wouldn't have existed, but this was where the T started. So when you come in here, the hallway would have been on the other side of this wall, which you can tell all of this was added in later. You can see it's probably been modified multiple times over the years, because this is a wider baseboard. This is a thinner baseboard, which would match up with the stories of what Susie told us as far as how many times she knew the floor plan had been changed more than once. But there's still nice wood floors in here. We're gonna work on this in here a little bit. Borders coming down, ceilings getting repaired, lights being switched out, and floors obviously cleaned. But this is the hallway that would have been, we think, the original hallway. They've put a utility closet in there, and this goes into the current kitchen. But John says over this door, probably behind this wood panel, he says this door has a transom over it. This is that porch area that we could see when we went in the dungeon underneath the house. So this was closed in at some point and turned into just kind of like a little room. There is an exit door there, but it's boarded up on the other side, so you can only go out through like the top glass in an emergency, I guess. But and then there was a bathroom added on to this point at some point, which is also getting gutted and redone this week. So going back this way. So just for reference, we'll go back through the front door. So this room was probably most recently used as a dining room. But you can see right here, poking through the wood, you'll see these in most of the rooms. These are little, what John thinks were the access points for the water for sinks or toilets.
All the rooms had a sink in this area, right? All the rooms had a sink in this area. So this room had a sink right here. If you go to the next room, it'll have a sink right there. The bedroom over there, it has a sink on the other side. You'll see the two little places for that, and then a drain also for that one. So.
And this is, this space is the kitchen, and here's the doorway that goes to that hallway, which is the original hallway going to the back end of the house. Still has some, this was probably more of an original closet because you can see the closet doors in some houses used to be a little bit shorter than headway doors. What?
That bedroom over there that you came through in the corner, it has an original closet and it's built in.
On top.
Yeah, there's a door, there's a door right here, but above that, above the ceiling, there's another door. You can't see it because it's above the ceiling.
Like a trap door?
No, it was a cabinet that went all the way to the ceiling and they built in on it.
Oh, okay.
So.
They like to build in around everything here, apparently. Layers and layers. Haven't really even had time to explore everything in this room or in this building because of this. So you can see right here, this is a doorway, and they've come in and closed it up. We've got some paneling down below and some sheetrock above that has been heavily textured. So we're planning to come in here and remove some of this texture on the wall and repaint everything. I'm not sure why somebody had this like laminate stuff down in here, but the floor is actually in pretty good shape in here, so I'm looking forward to cleaning those up and everything. But we're going to sand all this stuff off the wall and give it a nice fresh coat of paint. But in this room, you can see, here's those attachments for the sink in the wall. Is an attachment a proper word? And in this room, you can see it also in this corner. There's a little bit more, it's a little bit more, I think this is maybe the plaster because they've added layers in there, but this is not maybe so built out.
You are correct. I have to lean in for the microphone. But yes, this is a plaster wall, and that's why you can see the drain and the hot and cold water.
So again, in here, sanding down these walls and changing out light fixtures. This was turned into a closet, but this is the back side of that door in the what is now a living room. So this would have come down the hallway, and there would have been 2 rooms here, boarding rooms. So maybe in doing all these renovations, we'll figure out exactly how many rooms were in this building. But we are pretty much working on this building this week to flip this whole upside down, upstairs, bathrooms, kitchen, clean up floors, paint walls, and change out light fixtures. And then we'll be working on it some in the future as well, probably. And when you come back out, this is the staircase that we went under to go into the basement, and the room that we were just in last, of course, is built out here. But you can tell that a lot of this woodwork, if it's not original, it's very, very old. The paneling, though, they've come in and added probably over the sheetrock. But I suspect, especially on this wall facing, I suspect there might be some brick behind there, wouldn't there?
Maybe. Brick or plaster. And this paneling is old paneling. It's a 1/4 inch thick. It's tough stuff. So it's been here for a long time.
Still in pretty good shape. I mean, you can see it pulling up just a little bit here, and I can see the plaster behind it, but this, the hallway's in pretty good shape. It's even sturdy, so the handrail is sturdy anyway. So that completes our tour of the beauty shop building. As you can see on the front of it, it just needs a little bit of sprucing up on the front, but it's in pretty good shape and has a good roof on it. So we're excited about this. That pretty much just leaves on the block the UMWA building. And then this was last the Kern Law Office building, but before that it was the Appalachian Insurance Agency. And there's some really unique information out there about the Appalachian Insurance Agency because Dr. Fleener, who lives in the area, who does a lot of historical stuff, he actually put together like a history of what had happened in Appalachia over the years based upon the Appalachian Insurance Agency's notes from their annual meetings, which I found to be very interesting because it kind of told the timeline of a lot of things going on in Appalachia. So we're just continuing to piece together bits of information of history, trying to find photos, come up with timelines. The property records in our area aren't always accurate as far as when buildings were built, so sometimes you're just looking for information in deeds, photographs that have dates on them, anything of that nature to kind of piece together the timeline of Main Street. But the 300 block of Main Street is, you know, where our heart and soul is right now. It's what we're working most on right now as far as our projects go. So stay tuned. We're going to post this video, and then we're going to get the mercantile tour up for you guys. And then we've had a lot of requests from people kind of asking about how we came about these projects and how we're funding things. So we are going to try to do a sit-down video one day and kind of talk about that because it's something that I'm also kind of passionate about, is just explaining that we're just normal people. You know, we're not wealthy. We just care about this community. This is my hometown. This is where I grew up. I was born here and raised, graduated from the high school. And so this whole project is really just a labor of love, and we want to see other people be able to take the information that comes in our videos and also some of the resources that we're using and do the same thing in their hometowns, because a lot of Appalachia as a region is just like our hometown of Appalachia, Virginia, and it's worth saving. So continue to follow along. If you're watching our YouTube videos, we just recently reached the level that you're going to be able to support us by just watching our videos. So that's kind of awesome. We're excited about that. So stay tuned, and we will be back with more tours and interviews soon.